All right, so you're here with us on the deep dive, which means you're probably as fascinated as we are by this whole AI thing, and more specifically, like, how's it going to hit us? Like, in our jobs, in the economy, by 2030? It's a big question, right? So, we dove deep into this report that lays out all the potential impacts, and we're talking big impacts.
Yeah, we're not talking about like, oh, maybe AI will help us send a few more emails. This report, it digs into like the really transformative changes that are coming.
Mhm.
And they're being driven by some pretty powerful AI tech.
Exactly. We're talking about machine learning, which, just so everyone's on the same page, is basically AI that can teach itself from data. It doesn't need someone to program every single step.
Right, then there's natural language processing. So that's how computers can understand, even use, like human language.
And then robotics, that's kind of the most obvious one, right? AI taking physical form,
Uh,
like in robots.
and then there's computer vision, so AI can actually like see and make sense of images. And
Yeah.
these are the things that are going to be driving these massive changes in the economy and the job market.
So let's get right into that. The report talks about, some just absolutely mind-blowing figures in terms of the economic impact.
Oh, yeah, PwC, they estimate that AI could contribute something like $15.7 trillion to the global economy by 2030.
15.7 trillion.
Trillion. It's almost impossible to wrap your head around a number like that. It's basically a huge injection of wealth and activity.
Mhm.
And the report, it says that China and North America, they're likely to see the biggest slice of that pie because they're just set up for this kind of innovation.
So this isn't just about doing the same stuff, just a little faster, like using AI to send those emails quicker.
No, not at all. This is about a fundamental shift in how productive we can be. The report predicts this huge surge in global labor productivity, like up to 40%, especially in developed economies.
40%.
Yeah, because if you think about it, AI can handle all those repetitive tasks like data entry or, basic analysis, and that frees up humans to do the more creative, strategic stuff.
So like in finance, for example, instead of analysts spending hours poring over spreadsheets looking for fraud, AI could do that in seconds.
Right. And then those analysts can actually use their brains to figure out, like, why is this fraud happening and how do we stop it in the first place? It's a totally different way of working.
And we're seeing those changes start to happen, aren't we? Finance, obviously. But the report also mentions manufacturing and healthcare.
Oh, yeah, it's happening all over. In manufacturing, you see more and more automation on assembly lines.
Hmm.
So that means higher production, fewer mistakes, companies can be way more competitive.
And probably offer lower prices, ideally.
Right, potentially.
But,
And in healthcare, it's amazing.
mm.
AI can now help doctors analyze medical images like x-rays and MRIs to spot potential problems way earlier, way more accurately. It's not replacing the doctor, but it's giving them this incredible tool to make better decisions.
Yeah, so potentially earlier diagnoses, which means...
Essentially better outcomes for patients.
And it's not just making existing industries more efficient. It seems like AI is creating entirely new ways of doing business.
Absolutely. This is where it gets really exciting. We're talking about completely new service models. Think about autonomous vehicles.
Self-driving trucks, for example.
Right, running 24/7, completely changing how we move goods around the world. Or healthcare becoming so personalized because AI can analyze your individual data, predict your risk for diseases, and tailor treatments just for you.
We're talking about like preventing illness, not just treating it.
Yeah, and that's just scratching the surface. Smart cities, using AI to manage traffic, optimize energy use, it's like a whole new level of efficiency and sustainability. And then there's the gig economy. All these platforms that connect people with work. AI can make those connections even smarter, more efficient, taking into account all sorts of factors we can barely even imagine.
Okay, so this is, potentially a massive economic shakeup, but what does it actually mean for the jobs we do? The report talks about both job losses and job creation, which seems kind of...
Contradictory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really important point. McKinsey, they estimate that automation through AI could displace, a lot of jobs globally. We're talking somewhere between 400 to 800 million jobs lost.
That's a lot.
I guess. But, and this is the crucial part, they also project the creation of around 555 million new jobs in different fields, of course.
Okay, so it's not just about jobs disappearing, it's about them changing, shifting.
Exactly.
In the report, it highlights areas like healthcare, education, tech, even green energy as places where we're going to see those new jobs pop up.
Right. Think about it. With aging populations, healthcare is going to need more and more skilled professionals.
Oh.
And AI is going to create roles in developing and using all these new healthcare technologies.
And then in education, you're going to need people to actually build and manage these AI-powered learning tools.
And of course, the tech sector itself is going to keep growing. More AI developers, data scientists, cybersecurity experts. And then the transition to a greener economy, that's going to create jobs in areas like renewable energy.
Yeah.
Often working, by the way, alongside those AI systems that manage energy grids and stuff.
The report also uses this term job polarization, which I gotta admit sounds a little jargony.
It does, yeah. Basically, it means that we might see fewer of those, kind of stable middle-income jobs that involve a lot of routine tasks.
Like classic office jobs,
Yeah.
data entry, that kind of thing.
Right. Think of a bookkeeper or a customer service rep who handles the same kinds of questions all day. AI can automate a lot of that, but at the same time, you're going to see more demand for the high-skill jobs that need creativity, critical thinking. So, your AI developers, your data scientists. And the worry is that people in those middle-skill jobs, it's not going to be easy for them to jump up to those higher-skill roles.
Yeah.
So you might see this bigger gap in the job market.
So it's not necessarily about entire professions disappearing overnight. It's more about the tasks within those professions changing.
Yeah, exactly. Like the report uses the example of doctors using AI for diagnosis. The doctor's not gone, but their job is different now.
And factory workers, instead of doing manual tasks, they might be managing robots.
Right. Programming them, maintaining them, supervising them. It's a totally different skill set. More technical, more focused on problem solving.
Let's dig into some specific industries here. I mean, manufacturing seems like, well, the obvious one, right? So much potential for automation.
Oh, yeah. The report, it highlights how repetitive tasks in manufacturing are increasingly being automated. We're already seeing that, right? But that also means you need people who can design, build, maintain all those automated systems.
So those robotics technicians, AI systems supervisors, those roles are going to be...
Huge, yeah. It's a shift from manual labor to more of a technical oversight role.
And then there's healthcare, which also seems ripe for disruption. AI is getting involved in everything, from figuring out what's wrong with you to deciding how to treat it.
What's so cool about healthcare is that AI has the potential to make medicine truly personalized. Like, imagine AI analyzing your genes, your medical history, to figure out your risk for certain diseases. And then it could actually create a treatment plan just for you.
Tailored medicine.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to lead to all sorts of new jobs. Like, you'll need people to train medical professionals on how to use these AI tools. And then, of course, you need people to make sense of all the data AI is spitting out. So bioinformatics analysts, that kind of thing.
Then there's financial services, another industry where AI is, well, let's be honest, already making a big splash. Figuring out who's a credit risk, spotting fraud.
Yeah, those algorithms are already hard at work, assessing loan applications, flagging suspicious transactions, and the report suggests that we're going to need people to make sure those systems are fair and accurate.
So like AI auditors.
Exactly. And people to monitor and tweak the AI models used in finance, algorithm supervisors, and even customer service. That's going to become more and more automated through AI-powered chatbots.
Even retail, the way we shop, is going to change. AI is making inventory management smarter, giving retailers a better understanding of what we want when we want it.
Totally. AI can analyze sales data, predict demand in a way that, like, traditional methods just can't. So that means optimized inventory, less waste, and it can personalize your online shopping experience, like recommend products based on your past purchases, which probably means
fewer cashiers.
Yeah, likely. And more people needed in areas like customer experience management and data analytics, people who can really understand and use the information that AI is providing.
And then there's education, which I gotta admit was kind of a surprise to see highlighted in the report. It's not just about AI being used in education, it's about AI actually changing how we learn.
It is. We're talking about AI tutors, personalized learning systems that adapt to each student. So imagine an AI tutor that can give you specific feedback and then adjust the pace and content of your lessons based on how you're doing.
So does that mean the end of teachers?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But their role is going to evolve. They'll be more like guides, facilitators,
Yeah.
helping students navigate these new AI-powered environments. And they'll have to be really comfortable integrating those technologies into their teaching. And they'll still be crucial for, developing those uniquely human skills like critical thinking and collaboration that AI can't really replicate.
The report also points out that these changes are going to play out differently depending on where you are in the world, like developed versus developing economies.
Right. Developed economies, they already have the infrastructure, the internet access, the tech literacy. So they're well positioned to adopt AI quickly, which could lead to faster innovation, bigger productivity gains. But, and this is important, the report also warns about the risk of making inequality worse if those opportunities and the skills needed to take advantage of them aren't available to everyone. Developing economies, on the other hand, they have this chance to leapfrog ahead using mobile tech and readily available AI solutions. But they need to invest in building up their digital infrastructure and making sure people have the digital literacy to thrive.
Which brings us back to this really crucial point about skills and education. It really does sound like lifelong learning, constantly picking up new skills, is going to be.
It's essential. Yeah, the report emphasizes the need for, well, a blend of skills. You need the technical stuff, obviously, AI, data science, coding. But you also need those uniquely human skills that AI is not so good at. Creativity, emotional intelligence, complex problem solving, being able to really think critically and work collaboratively with others, continuously learning, actively looking for opportunities to upskill. Those aren't just going to be advantages, they're going to be necessities in this new job market.
And it sounds like our education systems need to catch up, right? We need to be preparing kids for this world where AI is everywhere.
Big time. The report is really clear about that. We need to be teaching AI literacy, critical thinking about tech, and how to approach problems from different angles, different disciplines.
Hmm.
And we need to see more collaboration between schools and businesses. So what's being taught is actually relevant to the jobs that are going to exist.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. The enormous economic potential of AI, the big changes coming to the job market, the absolute necessity of skills and education. It's a lot to process.
It is. But the takeaway, I think, is this. AI is incredibly powerful. It has the potential to boost the economy and drive innovation like we've never seen before. But it's also going to change the way we work in some pretty fundamental ways. So understanding these trends, preparing for them, is going to be key. For individuals, for businesses, for governments, everyone needs to be on board.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the future shaped by AI, here's a final thought for you to consider. How are you going to prepare for this future where your own skills and artificial intelligence are going to be increasingly intertwined? What steps are you going to take to keep learning, to develop those uniquely human capabilities that are going to be more and more valuable? Because this isn't just about a few jobs going away. It's about a whole new world of work emerging. And what's your role going to be in it? Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll see you next time.